जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी जय राधा गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरावनचारी यमुना तीरावनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे
जय कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा
कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा कृष्ण रुक्मिणी जय सत्यभामा
जय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय गौरानिताय जय गौरानिताय
गौरानिका
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय
प्रभुपाद की जय। जाम विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रवाचकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीस्मस डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरणारविंद भक्तवेदांत स्वामी श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। ISKCON फाउंडर आचार्य सेवियर ऑफ द होल वर्ल्ड विश्वगुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। श्री गौर निताय की जय। तुलसी महारानी की जय। कृष्णा रुक्मिणी सत्यभामा की जय। श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयामुदीरये नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्ति भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 7 and Text 55. Suta Uvacha Arjunaha Sahasa Ajnaya Arjunaha Sahasajnaya Harehe Hardam Athasina Harer Hardam Athasina Manim Jahara Murdhanyam Manim Jahara Murdhanyam Dvijasya Saha Mudajam Dvijasya Saha Mudajam. Suta Uvacha Arjunaha Sahasajnaya Harer Haddam Athasina Manim Jahara Mudhanyam Dvijasya Saha Mudajam. Suta Uvacha
Hare Hardamathasina
Sena
Manim Jahara Murdhanyam Vijasya Sahamurdhajam.
Suta Uvacha Arjunaha Sahasajnaya
Sahasajnaya
Arar Ardam Natashinaha
Haddam Athasina
Manim Jahara Murdanyam
Manim Jahara Mudanyam
Dvijasya Saha Murdajam.
Sutta Uvacha
Suta Uvacha
Arjuna Sahasajnaya
Arjunaha Sahasajnaya
Harer Hardam Athasina
Harer Hardam Athasina
Manim Jahara Mudhanyam
Manim Janara Udanyam
Dvijasya Saha Mudhajam.
Sahadodvajam. Sutaha Suta Goswami Uvacha said, Arjuna Sahasa, just at that time, Ajnaya, knowing it, Harehe, of the Lord, Hardam, motive, Atha, thus, Asina, by the sword, Manim, the jewel, Jahara, separated, Mudhanyam, on the head, Dvajasya, of the twice born, Saha, with, Mudajam, hairs. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. Just then Arjuna could understand the motive of the Lord by his equivocal orders, and thus with his sword he severed both hair and jewel from the head of Ashwatthama. Please repeat. Just then Arjuna could understand the motive of the Lord by his equivocal orders, and thus with his sword he severed both hair and jewel from the head of Ashwatthama. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Contradictory orders of different persons are impossible to carry out. Therefore, a compromise was selected by Arjuna by his sharp intelligence, and he separated the jewel from the head of Ashwatthama. This was as good as cutting off his head, and yet his life was saved for all practical purposes. Here Ashwatthama is indicated as twice born. Certainly he was twice born, but he fell down from his position, and therefore he was properly punished. I will read 56 by myself. Vimuchya rasanabadham balahatya hataprabham tejasa maninahinam shibiran nirayapayat. He, Ashwatthama, had already lost his bodily luster due to infanticide, and now, moreover, having lost the jewel from his head, he lost even more strength. Thus, he was unbound and driven out of the camp. Purport. Thus, being insulted, the humiliated Ashwatthama was simultaneously killed and not killed by the intelligence of Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Sanstha Bhaktivedanta Purporto Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Mate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Actually, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the 64 qualities of Krishna are described. Actually, Krishna has unlimited qualities, but primarily categorized into 64. And here, in that, some 3 qualities, like Supandityaha, is very learned, and then Buddhiman, very wise, and then Pratibhanvita is a genius. So Krishna is a personality, but he is supreme personality because all these qualities are present in him like a ocean, very deep. So in these 2 verses, Prabhupada is highlighting the intelligence of Krishna and Arjuna. Prabhupada is concluding here, simultaneously Ashwatthama was killed and not killed by the intelligence of Krishna and Arjuna. Since Krishna is intelligent, his real devotees are also very intelligent. Arjuna is very intelligent. Why? Because here it is mentioned, Hare Hardam. He understood the motive of Krishna. Not ordinary to understand Krishna's mind and Krishna's motive. Only a first-class servant can understand the motive of his master. Only a first-class friend can understand his friend's motive. So, the context is that this son of Dronacharya, Ashwatthama, has committed a grievous offense. He murdered the children of Draupadi like a butcher without any values. Ashwatthama knows the religious principles of fighting, and he knows if somebody is asleep, he should not kill the enemy. If the enemy is asleep or even inattentive, he should not be killed. He's saying here and there, and then you come behind and kill him off. That's not the fight. It's a dharmic fight. At the end of the fighting, all the people who have participated should have some dharmic elevation. They should at least go to heavenly planets. This is called dharma, dharmic fight. So here, Ashwatthama knows all this. But still, like a coward and a plain Like Prabhupada is here calling him a committed infanticide. He's a murderer of the children. Actually, children should not be killed. That's one more principle. So, he violated all those dharmic principles despite knowing. Actually, after knowing something, if somebody transgresses those principles, the reactions are heavy. Reactions are more compared to the one who is ignorant. Both of them will get punishment, but then one who knowingly does, he gets a higher punishment. So, Krishna, actually Arjuna, he goes to Draupadi. Draupadi is lamenting because of the loss of the children. 5 children in one shot. It is a very painful situation for Draupadi. And to pacify her, Arjuna says, I am going to bring the head of Ashwadhama. Standing on that head, you should take your bath after coming from Smashan. Because they have to cremate the bodies of these 5 children. And once comes back from crematorium, one has to take a bath. So he mentions that you can take a bath by standing on the head of Ashwadhama. And that's the promise, and Draupadi seemingly pacified. Then Arjuna goes out to bring Ashwadhama. So when Krishna and Arjuna are chasing Ashwadhama, finally Arjuna arrests Ashwadhama. At that time Krishna says, kill him. Krishna. He tells Arjuna, kill him. Actually, he is a Brahma Bandhu. He is not Brahmana. He is simply pretending to be a Brahmana, not qualified. So you kill him. But Arjuna did not like that idea. And then instead he arrests Ashwadhama and brings him to the assembly where Draupadi is present and king is present. Yudhishthira Maharaj is present. Other Pandavas are also present. Very interesting Krishna's nature, you see. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and he is giving a direct order to Arjuna. And Arjuna is still considering to do or not to do. And Krishna is not forcing him. So this is very interesting relation between Krishna and his devotees and Krishna and the Jivas. So then once they reach the assembly, look at the Draupadi's reaction. She is the aggrieving mother and a great loss of losing all the children. And when Arjuna brought Ashwadhama like an animal, he brought him into the assembly. Dragging, how you bring an animal. Like that he brought. Then as soon as Draupadi saw Ashwadhama in the situation, she could not take it. Because she knows he is from my Guru's family, Dronacharya's family. And he is a Brahmana. She is not realizing that he fell down from Brahmanical platform, but out of great respect, she tells, please release him. Release him so that whatever pain I am going through will not come to Krupi, the Dronacharya's wife. That means Ashwathama's mother. As a mother I am suffering. I am going to suffer my rest of the life. But I don't want Krupi also to go through that because she is Dronacharya's family. If I put my Guru's family in trouble, in grief, that is not good. So you please release him. So Arjuna's word is that if I will bring head so that you can stand and take your bath. And here Krishna already told, kill him off. And here Draupadi is saying, release him. As soon as Draupadi said that, Yudhishthira Maharaj immediately supports Draupadi and he says, yes. And when the emperor is saying, release him, all the other Pandavas, everybody is agreeing except Bhima. Bhima was very angry. He says, what is the purpose? He killed these people like a butcher. So he is not getting any benefit because religious principles are violated. And then he went to his master with all these 5 heads. His master is Duryodhan. By then already Bhima has broken his thighs. Duryodhan is about to die. Ashwathama thought, I should take all these 5 heads so that Duryodhan is very pleased. And in that pleasing situation, he can leave his body. So then when Duryodhana saw these heads, it is said that he pressed the heads to see whether they are really heads of the Pandavas. And when he saw that they are like, very, not very hard, very soft, he understood they are actually children of Pandavas. It is said that Duryodhana died because of the lamentation, that now the Kuru dynasty will end. Even though the surviving 5 descendants are also been killed, now there is no hope. That's how he dies. So, Bhima is saying neither his benefit nor his master's benefit. So what kind of an act is this? Kill him, Bhima says. Now Bhima is elder, Krishna is elder, Krishna is his friend, and Draupadi, she is also involved, and his own word. So finally Krishna is advising him, you should satisfy Bhima, and you should also satisfy the king, Draupadi, and that group. So then it's a very complex situation. And Prabhupada is beginning his purport saying that contradictory orders of different persons are impossible to carry out. Sometimes in volunteers meeting, sometimes I hear this problem. The volunteers are working under some congregation, the coordinators, and the young boy, folk boy or whoever, the volunteer, he comes and says, Prabhu, I am planning to do because this Prabhu told me to do. Meanwhile, that Prabhu comes and tells me this, something else. Now what should I do, Prabhu? This is the question. Because both of them are telling 2 different things. It appears to be contradictory for that boy. And then, so he could not decide the next step. What should I do? So, in our day-to-day life, we can see contradictory orders, how can we carry out? There has to be clarity on the next step, the direction. So, but then Krishna has not given any specific direction. Should satisfy me, Bhima, and then, all the king and Draupadi and all that. So here it is mentioned that Hare Hardam. Arjuna, he understood the motive of the Lord, understood the desire. But Krishna has not expressed that desire. He has not given any solution to start with. Initially he spoke as per dharmic principles. But he gives that intelligence to Arjuna to come up with the solution. What is that? Prabhupada is explaining here, separating the jewel. There is a special jewel on the head of Ashwadhama by which he got all the strength. So now Arjuna, what he did, he removed the hairs and the jewel from the head of Ashwadhama. Generally, in some yogis and brahmanas, the power is in the hairs also. And so by cutting off the hairs, by removing the jewel, Prabhupada is saying it is equal to killing him. Taking the jewel from his head is equal to taking his head. But at the same time, he is spared. His life is spared. Practically, you can see him living, but actually, because of his humiliation, the treatment, he is already dead. For a Kshatriya, infamy is as good as death. This kind of a humiliation in that assembly, in front of everybody, and that too in front of a queen, it is a great humiliation. So it is like he's actually dead. So now Arjuna said, I will bring the head. Yes, one sense that's the head. Jewel is, if the head is cut, in one sense there is a jewel also to stand on. So now jewel is taken. And at the same time, Manim Jahara Mudhanyam. So he has taken out the money, that means he is killed, and because of the humiliation he is already dead. So that's why Prabhupada is saying he is killed by, or not killed by the intelligence of Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Actually, this is natural in this world, that because of the individuality, difference of opinions are always exists. If there is a difference of opinion, actually it proves the individuality of the living entity. Each and every living entity differed from Krishna and came to this world. They do not want to follow the orders of Krishna. So, in the conditioned souls, this differing or dissenting mentality is very strong. But as one progresses in Krishna consciousness, then he abides by the orders of the spiritual master. Whatever Prabhupada says, he tries to follow. But in the orders of Prabhupada also, there is a possibility of difference of opinion. Prabhupada has given an order, you implement like this, you do this. But say there are two devotees, they are already Krishna conscious, but still there is a chance that they also can differ in how to implement this. Like Prabhupada said, you distribute prasadam within the 10-mile radius of our center. Now this is his desire, he has given a vision. Now how to implement that? There could be hundreds of models. So there is a chance that they differ. And similarly, festival time, let us say we are planning, and say one devotee may say, Prabhu, let's give gulab jamun. And somebody may say, no, rasagulla. See, these kind of differences are always possible. So differences should not be seen as a problem. They exist naturally. It's not a problem. The problem is coming up with a solution. If some particularly senior devotees, when they say something, for example, here who is talking? Bhima. And he is talking with all the full emotions. It is said that Krishna has to show other two hands to stop him. That's the scenario, very emotionally intense, obviously. So when emotionally the environment is surcharged and all the senior say Vaishnavas are discussing about a solution, there is a possibility of differences. In our community, when the senior members differ, we appreciate. This looks illogical to outsiders, but we appreciate. Okay, he has brought in a certain angle, now he has brought in a certain angle. Now the problem is in front of the body, that deciding body is to come up with a solution. This tendency we see even up to the level of GBC. Don't think GBC means, somebody will say, do this, and everybody will say, yes. No. There are topics which are discussed, even now going on, last 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Prabhu, what is there, Prabhu? So much to discuss. Just decide, no. To decide only, in order to decide, there are some half a dozen views are there. You have to stitch them together and bring to Prabhupada is saying, a compromise. A compromise was selected by Arjuna, by his sharp intelligence. Now here requires the intelligence. And you can snub somebody down. You can pressurize some voice. But that is not the approach, at least in the top leadership. In GBC, if anybody says anything, it doesn't matter whether senior is saying, within the GBC senior or junior, it's a very healthy discussion. That means everybody peacefully seated and they discuss. No, emotionally surcharged. Nothing less. Same environment sometimes possible. Let us say 2 members are emotionally charged, arguing this point, that point. And that member suddenly, like me, for example, let us say cough a little bit. The person who is arguing, he will go and give 1 glass of water. This is a very important point. My relationship as a Vaishnava, that should be protected always. Between Vaishnavas, there is a relationship. Respectful, trustworthy relationships exist. Our entire goal of our community, living in Vaishnava community, is to ensure these relationships are maintained. Junior, senior, equal, whatever. These relationships are paramount for me. Prabhupada says, if somebody sticks on to this moment, going back to Godhead is guaranteed, except if he doesn't commit Vaishnava aparadh. So if we don't maintain our relationship with other Vaishnavas, then how can you be free from the aparadhas? So that is our paramount this thing. On a particular point I may differ. A managerial issue, I may differ. I may not agree. And then I may express. Or I may argue also. It doesn't matter. But as a Vaishnava, let us say he has immediate whatever, immediately as a Vaishnava we should respond. Difference of opinion doesn't mean enmity. Or not accepting your opinion is not because inimical. No, Prabhu doesn't accept my ideas at all. Now here comes the scenario. You always have to do everything as a matter of duty. What is the result? Nobody knows. In GBC when we are discussing, sometimes things appear to be going in the direction in which, let us say, I have recommended. Suddenly in the last moment, it will turn and goes to some other direction. This direction, this idea looks completely invalid, completely not useful. Finally, what comes out, nobody knows. And we should allow that. Don't be possessive. No, just because it came from your mouth, it doesn't become, it's like a holy scripture. It's a managerial decisions are being taken. When we are discussing about philosophy, non-compromisable. We have to quote from Prabhupada, we have to prove from Prabhupada words, and that's it. Only on that basis anybody will accept. But managerial issues, gulab jamun versus rasgulla, there is no meaning. If it comes to that level, actually we should leave it to my senior. No, let Prabhu decide. You happily agree. Let us say he decides gulab jamun and you are a rasgulla party. See? Now two parties. Gulab jamun party, rasgulla party. No. You should not go back and say, see, I told Rasagulla, see, they have not done Gulab Jamun. Now look at this taste. See, it has not come out. That's what I am saying. It is not easy. Actually, once the senior decides like that, we also should wholeheartedly be with it. You cannot have difference of opinion that time. Our immediate authority, our authority has decided after deliberation. He heard all the this side, that side, everything, and then he has decided. That's it. We have to align ourselves. Now this is called cooperation. We have to cooperate. Otherwise there is no end. How will you prove? And there is no big difference. You should see prasad to chal rahe. They are giving some prasad. May not be exactly what I want. These are all very important considerations. We should not have that feeling that my thing is not accepted. And if something goes wrong, you go and tell somebody, see, I told actually like this, but they have done like this, now see. And he'll also say, yeah, I also told. Nothing. So there is no end. Vaishnava community, there is one more rule is there, that there is nothing, nobody should create any parties. Party mentality is a sectarian mentality. It's an offense to devotional service. It's called Jati Buddhi. My Jati is Rasgulla Jati. Yours is a Gulab Jamun. This is Jati Buddhi. So we should not get into all these tricks of the mind. Somewhere we have to surrender. After all, we came here for learning that. The entire process of Krishna consciousness is to learn how to surrender to Krishna. Surrender to Krishna starts with surrendering to the immediate authorities. Surrendering to Prabhupada, then surrendering to Krishna. If we don't learn how to take direction from an authority, our ultimate goal is to take direction from Krishna in the heart. If you cannot learn even this much, now how can you learn taking direction from Prabhupada, taking direction from Krishna? This is the training. And just by learning this sincerely, one day we will be elevated to such platform. Just because of our obedience. All purification comes by obedience. So that's why here we can see Arjuna very sharply decided a solution which is satisfying to everybody. Actually, it will be always nice to come up with such solutions, but not easy. Sometimes you should not think, Prabhu can satisfy my Rasgulla desire also. Why only Gulab Jamun? May not be easy. So let us say when the numbers are high, the decisions change. Let us say you have to supply 100 Rasgulla. Vis-a-vis, there is a festival where you have to supply 1,000 Rasgullas. See, the temple president or the leader, he knows the capacity or the circumstances in the local temple. Theoretically, it's easy to say Rasgulla, 1,000 numbers. No? But what is the size of the kitchen? How many hands? Who is cooking? Whether they know Rasgulla? See, if the cook know, you go and ask and give, can you do Rasgulla? He'll say, yes. But actually that may not be his expertise. Now sometimes we have to be careful. And some people, they can do some things very small quantity very nicely. But when it expands into bigger numbers, we don't know, there is no guarantee. All these things are known to the leader. He has seen deeply he knows the situation. So that's why, beyond a point you can say, no, Prabhu, you know better, you take a call. I'm okay with it. Be sportive, be friendly in accepting the decisions and in adhering to all these things. But one has to follow ultimately whatever decision has been taken so that our training, our purification is there. Sometimes when our ideas are accepted, there is a possibility of becoming very proud also. So sometimes maybe Krishna doesn't allow. Well, good for us. So this smartness in devotees, we can see exhibited by Prabhupada. In 1977, Prabhupada was there in Vrindavan. He came to know about the desire of some of his ambitious disciples to become Acharya, to become Guru. And he also knows some instances of his disciples are trying to become Guru in his own presence. Very ambitious, and they're all leading disciples. Leading means they have taken up huge responsibilities of managing the movement, expanding the movement. Such disciples are involved in trying to initiate disciples as their own disciples and becoming Guru and all that. That is, he saw. On one side, that is the scenario. The leading disciples. And on the other side, yes, there is a requirement to conduct initiations. And initiations have to be given by Guru. And worldwide, people are, many people are there waiting to receive initiation from Prabhupada. And that initiation has to come from Prabhupada. So how to balance now? How to satisfy these ambitious disciples? so that they get to do some responsible thing in the moment. And at the same time, they are not made as gurus just because some initiations are pending. So, okay, now let me allow my disciples to initiate, and so initiations can go on. Prabhupada has come up with a brilliant concept called Ritvik. He said, you are representative of Acharya in conducting these initiations, and Ritviks have a very big responsibility to ensure that the candidate is really qualified. And Ritvik is the one who accepts Prabhupada, accepts the person as a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. If the Ritvik says, yes, I am accepting, yes, he is accepted by Prabhupada. A very responsible position. Right in the system of initiations. They all want to initiate, no? So Prabhupada gave a very important role for the Ritviks. But at the same time, he subtly denied that you can be the next Acharya. You can be the next Guru. He sealed their ambitions and made them as Ritviks. Of course, it's a different matter that they have not followed Prabhupada's order. Their ambitions are too high for them to listen to this, the concept and follow his orders. So that's why we are seeing today a pathetic situation, particularly in the opposite camp. If they followed Prabhupada's intelligence, according to Prabhupada's own estimates, in 1975, 76, 77 and all that, there are some conversations. Prabhupada is saying, in 5 years we can take over the world. Entire world, Krishna consciousness movement can take over in just 5 years. That is the potency. In 77, the momentum was so high. Prabhupada is very confident. In 5 years, we can close it. That's the thing. So unfortunate, they lost that potency by propping up their own system of initiation. They are known as self-appointed gurus. Nobody is appointed. Okay, so coming back to this, community. So community dynamics. Here also Arjuna, Pandava family, community. And so he resolved those complex issues. And if you see Krishna also, he allowed this kind of a solution. And so, as we also grow in our responsibilities, if somebody has something to say, it's important that we hear them. And of course, if it is completely out of the context, then it's a different issue. We can explain to him. Otherwise, we can hear him. Particularly the senior ones. Junior ones, they should learn how to obey. The training is how I should strictly follow the instructions given by my authorities. Okay, so then it becomes very pleasing, it becomes very nice. We all can expand this movement. Cooperation is a very important principle, and with this we can expand this movement far and wide, provided internally we don't make these differences into bigger issues. Never convert these differences into disruptions. Not to that level. You can dissent, you can disagree, but then never go beyond. Ultimately, the situation, whatever the temple president decides, that needs to be followed. In our group, we have moved one step ahead of even this. In case still I'm a senior devotee, I'm also part of the senior management, and I differ, let us say, my temple president's final opinion or order. I can even go to the GBR and then explain to him. And if the GBR is also not able to resolve, we can even go to GBC and then discuss. You see, this is the organization that Prabhupada has established. So, there is no feeling of helplessness. You have support from the temple management till the topmost management, managerial body, GBC. But that problem which you have to escalate to GBR or GBC must be an earth-shaking problem. Not Rasgulla, Gulab Jamun. And in our camp, fortunately, I have not seen such problems which require that kind of a entire GBC coming together to solve it. Most of our topics are how to expand and how to ensure certain procedures and policies. Prabhupada's mercy, we don't have some complex issues to resolve. Okay, so this training we have to go through. Personalism has to be recognized and learn this art of cooperation. Then we will be successful. Any questions?
Prabhu, this Arjuna, when Krishna told you should kill immediately, like, then why Arjuna didn't immediately obey? Like, what is the...
Yeah.
Like in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Arjuna says, like, Karishye Vachanam Tava. Like,
Yeah.
So why he had a difference, like...
Yeah. Actually, Krishna says, Yatechasi tatha kuru. First Krishna says, he gives the option. Now I have explained everything to you. Now you decide. Very interesting this is. In some religions, let us say you say something different or you ask a question. You will not exist. Asking questions is encouraged in our parampara, in our sampradaya. One has to apply his mind and intelligence to understand the siddhanta of Krishna consciousness. We don't need blind following. Thoroughly you analyze, get convinced, and then only you will be able to destroy the false egos. Only by the sword of the knowledge that you understood by your own logic and reasoning. If somebody is very submissive and he believes in Prabhupada completely, and then Prabhupada gives some word and then he believes completely, that is very nice. But if he can understand that also using his reasoning and logic and all that, and accept that order. Once a bona fide guru gives an order, that has to be accepted in toto. You should apply your intelligence to just follow how it can be followed. So now, here Arjuna, although Krishna said something, he is analyzing. He is also deliberating. Because he knows Krishna is nature is that he gives him the chance. So that's why he decided. He didn't like the idea that he has to kill Aswadhama at that time. See, after capturing him, after so much of hard work, is again rethinking. Vaishnava is like that. They reconsider, rethink, deliberate more. Are ek baat bol diya, that's it. No, it is written in the stone. No, there is nothing. They consider. You don't mind. Actually, sometimes GBC passes a resolution. And according to Prabhupada's system, it has to come to the body of the TPs. And in the TP body meeting, let us say there are additional points or insights. GBC again considers the topic and comes up with a solution. See, this system of governance is first time in the history of this world. When we show this organizational structure and how that things happen, big experts have said this is something extraordinary. Proper balanced power across the organization. Understood? So Vaishnavas, they happily follow the authorities' direction and guidance and then execute to their satisfaction of the authorities. Okay, so that's how Arjuna considers the instruction of Krishna and then finally understood the motive. You see in this Hare Hardham, to understand Krishna's mind, very exalted position. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.